Welcome to the Empirewire Founders Podcast, where we make entrepreneurial founders a top priority. Each episode features risk takers, business builders, community shapers, institutional and government supporters in our local startup ecosystem. Tune in weekly to hear all about what's happening with the movers and the shakers of Southern California's Inland Empire and beyond. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Founders Podcast. Today we are with Dr. Reggie Thomas, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself and also his company, Peake Potential. We're going to go in depth. We're going to talk all about what he does, and I'm just going to right now just give him the floor. Reggie, tell us what you're about. Who are you? Give us a little intro.
All right. Well, thank you, man. It's good to be on your show and privileged to be here. So yeah, Reggie Thomas, it's my story, like everybody else's, is a journey. And my journey started 59 years ago in a small town in West Tennessee called Huntingdon. It was a little town of about 3,000 people. I grew up on a farm. And which really surprises a lot of people because living in the Los Angeles metropolitan area is a completely different culture. But yeah, I grew up on a little small farm. We didn't farm for a living, we farmed to eat. So small farm, we raised our own crops, we raised our own animals, and went to a very small high school. The people that I went to first grade with are the same people I went to graduated with.
That's awesome.
And my parents were blue collar workers. My dad worked for an aluminum company. My mom worked for a shirt factory. Just a real humble beginning, And I grew up with two younger brothers. I'm the oldest of three.
Awesome.
I'm a graduate of Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. And
Nice.
I also have a master's in theology, and my doctorate is in
awesome.
organizational leadership. But what I'm really proud of the most is my family. I'm married to Janine. We've been married 33 years. Okay.
Ooh, congrats. That's huge.
She'll tell you that out of the 33 years, maybe 5 have been good.
Oh, man.
No, we have a great marriage.
That's amazing.
I'm happily married. We're happily married. And there's a difference between being happily married and just married.
Right.
But we have 2 beautiful daughters. I'm a girl
Awesome.
dad, and my oldest daughter is 29, Amanda. Emily is 27,
Yeah.
and so I'm really proud of both of them. And 2 years ago, I started my own business. I am a business consultant. I have a company called Peake Potential, and what I do is I help businesses through executive coaching, consulting, and professional development training. And so a lot of joy in what I do.
Wow, man, I love it. I love the fact that you grew up on a farm. I can relate. Did you guys have chickens, pigs
Oh my
as
gosh,
well?
yeah, man. Yeah, we produced more eggs than we knew what to do with. Eggs.
I love the fact that I had that growing up as well. A lot of people, they don't realize that the farm life it's the original life here in the States,
Well, I bet you never did this. I bet your parents never went out on the farmyard and captured a chicken, chopped the head off.
Yes, we did it.
Plucked it, gutted it, okay, and then mom would go in the kitchen and fry that baby up. You didn't experience that, did you?
No, that was the best part about the fried chicken.
Yeah.
And you know what? Okay, so a little more to the farm life. We had our own chickens. We would cook them. We would eat the eggs as well. And chickens just reproduce. They just keep reproducing. And we had ducks. We never ate any of the ducks for some reason, but the pigs and the cows, we were our own slaughter. We slaughtered our own cows and pigs.
Same here, man.
Christmas, Thanksgiving, it was an entire event. We got together, wrestled the pig down, and it was humane, but we had fun getting in the mud, and then after we killed them, we slaughtered, drained the blood, ate every part of it. Every part of it. Didn't waste any part of it.
No.
Sausage grinder, all of the great stuff, the sausage casing, wrapping, special seasoning. Man, See, I would like to have the end of my life be a great farm, and my own stuff. So we'll see where that goes.
Darius, I think you're my brother from a different mother, man.
I think so. Yes. So awesome. Tell us about the origin of Peake Potential. When you began to think about doing starting Peake Potential, what was the emphasis? What was the motive? And then, what was your kind of direction on that?
So it's kind of a complicated story because, this is not a criticism of my parents, but I was raised more with parents who had more of a depression mentality or a scarcity mentality.
Well, that was my grandparents too.
Yeah. A safety mentality. Do what's safe. You don't take risks, right?
Yeah.
And so this whole idea of being an entrepreneur, starting a business, was foreign to me. In fact, I found myself even in adulthood being critical of people who were entrepreneurs. I mean, why would you do this? Why would you risk your financial security to do something so crazy like that?
Right.
So that was my mentality. So I had to change my mindset. But with that said, in the back of my mind, it was always something, I can't think of the word I want to use, but it was always something that I romanticized about. What would that be like to work for myself? What would it be like to be a business owner? So it was always in the back of my mind.
Yes.
And so, I had a 33-year career. I had a safe career.
Yeah.
I've made decent money over the past 3 years or so. And was very safe. And I don't think I would have ever done it. And I think sometimes in life, various things happen to push you out of the nest. And that happened.
Like an eagle. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, I lost my job. I lost my job during the pandemic.
Wow.
At the time, I was 57 years old. And, when you're 57 years old, you know what they say about people in the 50s. That decade, sociologists, they call us the unhirables. It's not that we're not qualified. But most companies, they look at people who are in their 50s as winding down their career or not having strong enough acumen in technology. And so really people who lose their jobs in the 50s, they have a really hard time getting hired again.
I have never heard that. That's something that I'm adding to my vocabulary now. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But it's in my opinion, it's like that's where life begins, that's especially for men, because it takes men a longer time to develop in their career, things like that. So, man.
But I'm grateful for that experience of being terminated, because if I had not been terminated, if I had not lost my job during that phase, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. And I just to share with you I feel like I'm making a bigger difference in the community now than ever in my life.
That's awesome.
I'm more fulfilled, and I also feel like I'm more in my sweet spot as well. And so, but it took that experience to get me to do that. And so,
wow.
I don't know if you've ever lost a job, but when you lose a job, it's very emotional. There's anger, there's fear, there's anxiety, there's uncertainty. But
feels like the rug is being pulled out from under you, right?
All your security is pulled out from underneath you, And so what it does, it either leads you down the pathway of reflection or the pathway of bitterness. Yeah. And so I took a couple of weeks just to think through what had happened, and I believe everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
And so it was through that experience that this little seed that I'd had in my heart for years and years and years, it just kind of grew. And I thought, you know what? This is the time. I'm 57 years old.
Yes.
I've always thought about what it would be like to start a business. This is the time. And so that's the genesis. That's the impetus of me starting my business.
Well, the great thing is that you come into your business with years of, experience, as a professional,
right?
Even if it was in another realm, skills carry over, and so like you're bringing seasoned expertise,
right,
to what you do, you know?
Yeah.
The Inland Empire startup ecosystem industry is tremendously fragmented. A few top-tier hubs, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego, are well covered by media, events, and data platforms. Finding reliable information relevant to startups or the tech industry in the Inland Empire is extremely difficult. As a result, startups can't scale fast enough. Investors are having a hard time finding the right deals, and corporates can't find the right companies to partner with for their innovation activities. Startempire, the leading Inland Empire startup publication, is providing the Inland Empire startup ecosystem with the most accurate, engaging business and financial data, events, and news. Our reach of entrepreneurs, C-level executives, angels, VC investors, startup employees, key management at innovative corporates, and big tech is the solution for your B2B or B2C needs. As we build out our platform, we're looking for partners. This is your opportunity to get in on the ground level. If you're looking to align yourself with the local and growing startup and tech ecosystem of the Inland Empire, we have created the platform to get your name noticed and the opportunity for you to grow the recognition of your brand. Contact us today for availability and pricing options. We look forward to our partnership with you. What was your previous career and what are the crossovers?
Okay, so I've actually done two things. I've been a professor, and I've also been an executive pastor of a church. Okay?
Oh, see, as an executive pastor, you are an entrepreneur.
Yes, yeah.
You're over a lot of stuff. And I see pastors as CEOs, basically. That's what I see.
Yes. And I also work for a company called Turning West, which is similar to Peake Potential, which is where I kind of developed a love for the services I delivered. Oh. But if you look at my three-pronged career path,
yes.
Executive pastor, professor,
yes,
consultant for another consulting firm.
Yes.
All of that experience pulled together just ripened me for what I'm doing now, right?
It's like you're a loaded gun. You're ready to go. Like you're a machine gun ready to go. So no, I love it. So when you began to brainstorm what the next step was after you were laid off, what were you thinking? Okay, these are the needs I can meet. And what needs does your startup meet? And what you're doing now? Like, let's go in depth on that.
All right. Well, first of all, I tapped into my own passions. Okay. I did some research and you know this, man. The research reveals that 70% of people in the workplace are unhappy with their job. They need money, but they don't necessarily like what they're doing.
Right.
They're in this field and they make a good living, good salary, good benefits, but what they're doing, they don't really like. And so I thought, I'm going to tap into my passions. So what are my passions? I love people, first of all. I'm a highly relational guy. I love helping people. Yeah. I'm gifted at speaking.
Yes.
I'm analytical, so I'm good at problem solving. And so that's the perfect recipe for being a consultant. Okay.
That's right.
Perfect recipe for being a consultant.
Yes.
And then I started thinking about the real needs in the business world.
Okay.
And in the business world, every business works with people.
Right.
And whenever you work with people, there are people issues, there are people challenges.
Yes.
One of the things that I have found is a lot of business leaders don't know how to solve their business problems. Sometimes it's a knowledge issue, but sometimes it's a time issue. When you're running your company and you've got drama going on in the office or within your team or within your staff, you're busy networking, you're busy running the company. You don't have time to pause and take care of that.
Right.
As a consultant, I have the time to come in and help you deal with that. So you don't have to deal with it, but I also bring the expertise.
That's awesome.
So people issues are huge in companies, but a lot of business owners and a lot of business leaders don't know how to resolve those issues.
Yeah, no, that's really good. So you come in and you step in and help them resolve those issues without, like, do you bring them in as well, to kind of help them see your perspective that you're bringing in, that unique perspective as well?
Well, that's the beauty of what I do. So when you solve problems in organizations and businesses, you have that inside lens and the outside lens.
Yes.
So business owner has that inside lens. That's the
Right.
history. That's the mechanisms.
Right.
What I bring in is that outside lens. And I always tell people that consulting is like a funnel.
Yes.
The consultant is on the big end of that funnel, can see things that you don't see as the business owner.
Right.
And the business owner is that narrow end. They know all the details.
They know all the details
of the organization. And so what I start with is an evaluation.
Okay.
That's doing an employment engagement survey that's written
Yes.
and confidential. And then I do one-to-one interviews with people for more information. And so when I give you recommendations on how to solve people issues in a business,
Yeah.
it's not my opinion. It's not just my perspective. It's
Right.
evidence-based. It's what I've heard
Evidence-based.
from the assessment. So, but it's
Wow.
fun work, man. I love doing it.
And it's so, everything is relational, and that's, that's the huge thing is that, because you're never going to get away having to deal, with people. We're meant to be in relationship with each other. Right. And if you're in an employee relationship, that's really an important relationship. So what are some of the most common issues that you've come across in these settings where you're consulting? What are some of the most common issues that you usually have to help business owners tackle?
There are several, but let me just highlight probably what I would consider the most common.
Yeah.
The first one is conflict, conflict management. So
yes.
what I have different services that I provide in conflict management. One is I do proactive work in conflict management. That's coming into a company and doing seminars
okay.
on how to prevent conflict and how to manage conflict when it comes up. That's the best way to deal with it.
Yes.
Hardest part of what I do is what is called conflict resolution. That's where there's already a conflict going on, and
wow.
I come in and I mediate that and help them resolve it. Okay. So conflict management and resolution is a big one. Another one is employee engagement.
Employee engagement. Okay.
Yeah, you probably have heard about quiet quitting.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It's been the biggest thing right now.
Yeah. People only do what is expected of them. They don't go beyond the call of duty. They're not engaged. They just show up and do their work, but there's no commitment to the company. There's no loyalty to the company. And that really is on the leader. And
wow. That's so good.
And the reason we're seeing people quiet quit, and you've also heard of the Great Resignation.
Yeah.
This thing started back in October of last year.
Right.
In October of last year, there were 4.2 million people who just walked away from their job.
Wow.
And in November, that number rose to 4.5 million. And then in December, it went down to 4.4 million. And we have continued that throughout 2022. But the reason people are quiet quitting and the reason we have what is called the Great Resignation is not because of money, it's not because of benefits, it's because of how they're treated in the job. Okay.
Wow.
Employees want to be respected, they want to be valued, they want to be cared for. And so company culture is big now.
That's
People
huge.
want to work in a positive environment in corporations, and they want to work for a compassionate leader. Okay.
Man, that is so good.
So those are two big issues, So really, a lot of times it's all about working with the leader,
Yes.
And I just wrote a book, and the first chapter of my book.
Show us the book. See the book. Yeah, show us the book.
I just happened to have it with me, because I knew you were going to ask me about it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's called People
Pains.
Fixing drama in your business.
Yes. Oh, and when is that available? When is that?
Well, it depends on how many copies you're going to buy. Yeah.
All right.
If you buy one copy, I'm not going to tell you, but if you promise to buy 50 copies,
50 copies. 50 copies minimum.
Yeah. The official release date is October 25th. It'll be available
Awesome.
on Amazon.
Amazon. Okay.
You'll be able to get it on Kindle, and then that same Friday, October 28th, it'll be available in paperback through Amazon.
Okay. And how can people local get a signed copy?
All they have to do is just contact me, and I will be glad to send them one. Okay.
Awesome.
And I'll have all that information on social media and my website. And I'm not sure where you live. I live in Chino Hills.
Corona.
Yep. So we're gonna have an official book signing party at Barnes and Noble here in Chino Hills.
Really? When? To be decided?
It's to be decided. We're looking at mid-November. Mid-November. Yes.
Well, you just let us know. We'll put out an announcement. I'll be there.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So you were talking about.
The first chapter is entitled "It All Begins with a Leader." I believe everything rises and falls on leadership.
I love it. Yeah.
So the leader has to set the tone for a positive, nurturing culture and climate in companies.
That is so good. So if the leader is apathetic, which I consider quiet quitting apathy to some degree. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
So if the leader is apathetic, that just rubs off, right?
Right.
Wow.
And if the leader is not showing appreciation, because people are rewarded, you're either rewarded intrinsically or extrinsically. Okay. Some people, they are reward oriented, and some people are achievement oriented.
Okay.
And people that are reward oriented, they like, raises, pay increases, bonuses, tangible kind of things. I'm achievement oriented. I get motivated by just seeing the achievement. But people who are achievement oriented, they need affirmation. They don't necessarily want money or something tangible. They just want the boss say, "Darius, job well done. I appreciate it." They just want to be appreciated. So that's why we're seeing quiet quitting. That's why we're seeing this great resignation in companies right now.
So I'm just recognizing, because I work with contractors regularly, that even I don't have any employees, but on Empirewire, everyone that I'm working with, I've been working with for at least a year, because we started and I found some great people to help me develop all the content that I'm developing. But, at the end of the day, I've noticed that, like you said, it rises and falls upon the example that I said. And so it's really, that's why I'm going to get the book. So tell us about, since you started it till today, what's the growth that you've seen, and what are the things that you've seen?
It has been unbelievable, Darius. Honestly, I look at myself in the mirror every morning and I have to slap myself because I can't believe where I'm at.
Wow.
And I also ask myself, man, why didn't I do this 10 years ago, 15 years ago? So my company, I lost my job August of 2020, and my company incorporated September 2020.
Okay.
Within 1 month of my starting, I got my first client.
Ooh, that's awesome.
And I'm going to be honest with you, the way my company has grown, it's just through organic relationships. People that I've known in the past, people who know me, people in the community. But over the last 2 years, I've had 45 clients, a total of 45 clients, which my accountant tells me that's pretty phenomenal for
that's great. That's huge.
So I feel blessed. I feel fortunate.
Right. And so all of those are all, what are they all? CEOs, or are they different types of people that you're working with?
Some are companies, and I've had contracts all the way from micro-sized businesses up to larger corporations. Yes. And but I've also done a lot of one-on-one consulting. Executive directors.
Oh, that's awesome.
Presidents of companies.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot of my contracts, they're either one-on-one executive coaching contracts, or they're training contracts, or they're
Yes.
long-term consulting contracts.
Long-term consulting
So I've been all over the map, some
Yes.
people, some companies, and some consulting, some training, some coaching. So it's
Okay.
all over the map.
So what have been some of the growing pains that you've experienced as you've grown? What are some of the growing pains that you've experienced now, or some that you anticipate too?
So various, I think first of all, I think it was just this whole orientation of, hey, it falls on you. You know, you work for a company, you have a niche, you have a role, you have a job description.
Right.
But as a business owner, at first, you do everything.
And that's true. That is so true.
Some of that everything you're not good at. You know, the thing about working for companies is everybody has a niche. You know,
Yes.
and you work in your niche and others work in their niche. And so I've had to get adjusted to working in the business and on the business. Okay.
Wow.
And, but the other thing, the most difficult thing for me has been just putting myself out there,
Yes.
promoting myself. And I've always been in service roles, you know, where
Yes.
you're taught to be humble and
I know.
you don't want to be too self-promoting.
Right.
I mean, when you start a business, you got to promote yourself. And so that's been difficult, putting myself out there. Like this morning, I made a post on all my social media platforms
Yes.
about my book being pre-launched.
Right.
It felt a little abnormal. It's like, am I bragging? You know?
Oh yeah.
But you got to
I know.
put yourself out there.
You really
and then
do.
The other challenge has been just pricing. You know,
The pricing.
if you come out of a service-oriented profession, it's difficult pricing what you're really worth. You know, it's like you want to give your services away, or you want to highly discount your services. And so this whole thing in the area of sales and marketing and promotion, that's been the biggest challenges for me.
Man, those are some very common growth pains too. You know, and I can recall personally being like, okay, you know, especially coming from a Christian background too, I'm like, man, I don't want to brag on myself. I get it. And I think we're taught growing up, especially if you were like in the southern states, you know, I was in Texas, you were in Tennessee, you know, you're taught like not to be too braggadocious, you know? So no, that's so true. Wow. Okay.
So the way I get around that, Various, I try not to make it about me. I try to make it about the value that my services can bring
you offer
as a business leader into your company, you know?
And that, you know, and when you look at it from that perspective, then you understand that if I don't promote myself, I'll be doing them a disservice.
Right.
You know, and that's the way I look at it. I'm like, if I don't promote myself, I'm not giving, you know, the best I can to people.
Correct.
And I'm doing my possible customer a disservice, you know?
Right.
So I love that perspective, and it's very true perspective.
Right.
Is there, okay, so what would you say are some of the current needs of your startup at this moment, you know? Within what you're doing, what are those current needs, and what are you doing to kind of try to move forward tackling those needs?
You mean needs in running the company or helping others?
Running the company, helping others, growth. What are those needs? Yes.
You know, I think the challenge that I'm at right now is going to be hiring. I'm a solo business.
Yeah.
I do have, you know, an external team, like I have an accountant and all of that, but those are external. But I'm getting to a point right now where I'm going to need help. I probably need an executive assistant to kind of help me with some of the administrative things.
Right.
And I also see that I'm getting really, really close to needing some help with actually delivering my services. You know, one of the things that I don't want is, you know, as a business owner, you want to be business because you want to get as much business as possible. Yes. Because that's the bread and butter. Right. But at the same time, it is possible to get too busy that you don't give your clients what they need. And one of my company values is service.
Service, yeah.
And to me, what that actually means is that I put your needs first. I'm available to you, and you get my best. So when you're spread too thin, you really compromise that. And so I want to make sure that I hire at the right time. In other words, I don't want to get to a place where my customers and my clients begin to say, well, he's neglecting us, or we don't see him like we need to, or he's not doing a good job. I want to always be able to deliver quality service. So I think probably the biggest need that I have starting right now and going forward is going to be hiring. I'm hiring. Expand my organization.
Okay. So if you guys are looking for a job and you're watching, awesome. And whenever you get ready to do that and make an announcement on social media, then hey,
I will reach out to you. I'll reach out to you.
Yes. All right. So now that we covered most of the fundamentals, tell us about 2 short-term goals within the next 2 months that you're trying to accomplish.
Number one, I want to be able to get more long-term contracts.
Long-term contracts. Okay.
Most of my contracts are either for training. They're usually one-off. I'm invited to come in for a day to do training, and they can go up to 3 months.
Yes.
What I have found is that you get the most results when you're able to invest more time.
Yeah. Yes.
When I was working for another company a few years ago, a consulting firm, we spent like a year and a half in one company. It was almost like we became employees.
Part of it, yeah.
We became a part of the system. We understood the culture. We understood their procedures. And that's where you make the most difference. I mean, I can come in for a day and do a consultation, give you recommendations, give you advice. But when I actually get embedded in your culture, get to know your employees, that's where I can really make the most difference. So what I'm trying to get right now are more long-term contracts so I can make a bigger difference. The second thing is I want to make a bigger imprint in my community. I want to serve my community. Cool. I don't want it to be all about Peake Potential. I want to take my resources and give back to the community. And I do that right now. I'm actually involved in the Chamber of Commerce.
I was going to ask you about that.
Chino Valley. I'm a member of a Rotary Club. I'm part of 2 networking organizations. And I'm also on the board of directors for a couple of boards. And so
very cool.
I want to be able to give back to the community as well. So those of us who are business owners, we have an expertise.
Right.
Some people can't afford your expertise. So you want to be able to give back to those that really need it. So those are two big goals of mine, various.
Those are great goals. Now let's talk about your future goals. We're going to start at 3 years, go to 5 years, and then go to 10 years. So in the next 3 years, where do you see yourself at? And then 5 and 10.
So in the next 3 years, number one, I want to be able to have a team. I want a team. Okay. When I started this business, here's what I said to myself, Various. I want to create a company, not a job.
Yes.
Does that make sense? There's a difference.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
Some people go into business and they're solo for life, and then they're not able to do it anymore, or they're no longer around. Company folds. What they created was a job.
Yeah, you're the whole company.
Right. That's not a good thing. I want to set myself up over the next 3 years where this is I want it to be. It's a company now, but I want it to be a sustainable company.
Sustainable company.
Team, with a leadership succession plan. And 5-year goal is I want to have a national platform. I want to be able not to be able to help companies here in California, but I want to be able to write other books
Yes.
And I want to be able to have a national platform where
Very
I'm
cool.
being called upon to help companies and business leaders from across the nation.
Across the nation, yes.
In 10 years, I want it to be even bigger, but I want to have my hands off of it. I want very little involvement.
Like on the board or something, huh?
Yes, I want it to still be my company, but I want to have consultants doing what I'm doing right now. And I'm just the visionary leader of the company, investing in them. I want to invest in them and then let them invest in our clients.
So kind of like McKinsey and Associates type thing?
Yes.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yes. I'll still be, in the company, but and working in the company, but very minimally. I want to be able to have a team that I'm investing in them, I'm developing them, and they go out and work, and that way my wife and I, we can travel the world, man.
I love it.
The company is still running. Okay.
That's awesome.
How does that sound to you?
It sounds like a great vision, great goals, something that I would get behind. Absolutely.
So when can I sign you on to join my team then?
Let's negotiate offline.
All right.
All right. So tell us about where people can find you at, online, offline, if they want to, hire you, if they want to bring you in as a consultant for longer term contracts, even short term contracts, but I know you're looking for the long term contracts. How can they find you?
I don't turn down any work. Turn down any work. No. So I'm pretty active on social media. So on Facebook, you can find me at Reggie Thomas. That's my name.
Okay.
And there is also, I have a business page, just Peake Potential. So
Peake Potential.
You can reach me either through my business page or my personal page.
Okay.
Instagram, my handle is.
That's with an E. Peake with an E. Yes.
AKE.
Yes.
Yes. On Instagram, my handle is Regman308.
Okay. Regman308. Okay.
And then I'm also on LinkedIn, Dr. Reggie Thomas.
Yes.
And my website, I have a very robust website. I hired
awesome.
Great web designer when I first started the company, and he did a great
That's
job.
important. That's really important.
So that's www.peakepotential.com. Peake with an E.
That's awesome.
Where you can find me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So reach out to Dr. Reggie. Go find him on LinkedIn, Instagram. And, if you go to his website, he's likely got links to all of these places.
Yes.
And when does the book come out again? Remind us.
October 25th.
Hold it up. Give us a commercial. Give us a commercial. What's the commercial about? The book, People Pains.
Well, there are people pains, and this book doesn't focus just on the issues. It focuses on the benefits. And so the benefits of solving the people issues in your company is you're going to have a positive work environment. You're going to have more loyal employees. Your retention is going to be good, and you're going to have less conflict, and you're going to have less drama. So if you read the book, you'll not only hear about the different issues, but there's solutions and tools to help you.
Very awesome. Released on
October 25th.
And to be decided, the signing event at Barnes & Noble and Chino Hills.
Mid-November. So yeah.
Mid-November.
I have a book launch team that's working on that. What they were actually waiting on, Barnes & Noble, they could not set a date for us until I had an ISBN number.
Oh, now, the ISBN, yes.
Now the book is published, I have an ISBN number. So my book launch team is working on that. But we're looking at mid-November.
Oh man, that is great. How long did it take you to write the book? Give us a little insight.
Well, it's been churning for a couple of years now. So it took me 2 months, which
wow.
Like I work fast.
That's awesome.
Fast. But when you already have stuff within you that you just get out, it was really easy because I already had this message in my heart that I wanted to convey to the business world.
I'm gonna say one thing. I've always talked to like different people throughout my life, and one of the things they always one message that stuck out to me was, don't worry about attracting people, have a message first.
Yes.
If you don't have a message, it doesn't matter how many people you have.
Right.
And so That's so important. You've got this amazing message. It pours out of your heart, and you can take this knowledge, life experience, all of this stuff, and you impart it to people. That's one of the things I was thinking about when you said, those longer term contracts. It's harder to impart things on a short term, right? But when it's long term, you can actually impart knowledge. It becomes a part of people's lives, not just mental, but it's like they're living it out in their organization. So this is awesome.
Oh, this is you said it. You said it well. I couldn't have said it better myself, Arias. Thank you for saying that.
Awesome. Well, Reggie, I thank you for coming on the Founders Podcast. It was great, and I look forward to like maybe a part 2 later in the future after you release the book, or you have another one coming out or something like that. I love that. Love to have you back on in the future as well.
Well, thank you for having me, Various, and I feel like I made a new friend today. And
likewise,
I'm glad you connected with me on social media. So you're one of those guys, man, I want to stay in touch with. So let's stay connected and
absolutely
partner together, and let's see how we can help each other, because I'd love to help you as well in any way.
I would love that.
But you are my farm brother from another mother.
That's it. I know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like we're
the best part of this conversation today, man.
I love finding out when people have grown up on farms, because it's really awesome.
Before you go, I got to ask you one thing. You talked about raising hogs and pigs.
Yes.
Did you guys ever make your own crackling?
Every time. Isn't
that the best stuff?
Oh.
Isn't that the best stuff?
People don't know what they're missing out on. When you buy from the store, it's not the same. Not the same.
I remember as a little boy, my dad would have this black pot in the yard with this fire underneath it, oil, and the hog skin in there, and we'd be out there with a salt shaker. Sit down, man, eating right there by the pot.
I love it. No, I miss it. I do miss it. I might get some pigs and get a farm. I'm an heir to some of the land that my grandmother and grandfather and them had out in Texas. So I still have that. I'm just not back out there yet. But anyway, I love it. So thank you for coming on, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Founders Podcast. Remember, we publish this podcast 2 times per week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can catch it either directly when we publish it, or go afterwards and check out the episodes that you missed, because we do push out a lot of content. We look forward to seeing you on future episodes, and reach out to us, give us feedback. If you want to, be on the Founders Podcast, reach out to us and we'll get you on. Reach out to Dr. Reggie, get in touch with him, stay in touch for the book launch, and that's it. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.